Hello, good morning students of class 11 commerce. Welcome to Panda Sir's virtual class on microeconomics. And after a brief rest due to half yearly exam, once again we are going to interact. And after the exam, this is my first video, and here we are going to discuss a new chapter of microeconomics titled Production Function. Earlier, we have already completed 4 chapters, that is the introduction, next law of demand, then elasticity of demand. So all these things. Now we will actually enter into the theoretical part, that is production function. And what is production function? By definition, production function tells us the functional relationship between input and output. So here we need to understand first what is production, what is input, and what is output. So first come to the word production. Production means creation of utility. Once again I repeat my statement. Production is creation of utility. That means how we can create utility? We can create utility by adding some value to some things, of which in the terminology of economics, what is called factors. We add value to factors and enhance or increase the utility or the want satisfying capacity of that object. For example, a simple piece of wood, given its utility or want satisfying power, now what we can do at best is we can burn it and we can get some heat energy. But if it is given to a carpenter, then he would use his or her skill on that piece of wood and convert that piece of wood into a chair or a table. And obviously the want satisfying power of a chair or a table is more than what it was able to do in its raw form. So here the piece of wood is a factor, the piece of wood is an input. The skill of the labor is an input. And by adding the input, that is wood, and another input, that is the skill of the carpenter, what we did is that we converted the piece of wood into a beautiful chair, and here the chair is the output. So in our production function, we will try to understand the mathematical relationship, the actual relationship between input and output. When we say about the relationship between input and output, it is simply quantity. What is the number of input we are using, and as a result, what is the number of finished product we are getting. Here the finished product is output and the input is where we are going to add the value. So thus production function tells us about the functional relationship between a number of input and a number of output. So after discussing the meaning of production function, now some more, a couple of more basic terms we need to understand, and those are factors and time period. Just we discussed about factors. Factors is nothing but input that we assemble, that we work on, and by adding value we increase its want satisfying power. Thus all the factors that we need to make a finished product can be divided into 2 groups. One is fixed factor and what is another is variable factor. And what is fixed factor? Fixed factor, during the process of production, if the number of a factor cannot be changed, that factor will be called as fixed factor. And during the production process, if the number of a particular factor can be changed, then it will be called variable factor. And why at all we need to change the number of either fixed factor or variable factor? The answer is simple, that we need to increase the level of our production. When we want to produce more, then simply we have to use more inputs, and here inputs or factor means either it may be fixed or it may be variable. If the number of a factor can be changed, it is variable factor. If the number of a factor cannot be changed, then it is fixed factor. But by definition, it is not a stamp mark on a factor that this is fixed and this is variable. It depends upon what? It depends upon time period. That in order to increase, why we need more factor? We want to increase production. And what time span, how much time we have got to increase the number of output. And when we come to different time period, it is market period, then short run, and then long run. And by definition, what is market period? Market period is so short a period of time that neither we can change any fixed factor nor we can change in any variable factor. Yani the number of factors can never be changed. Such is the time span available with us. And that much time is called a market period. In market period, we cannot increase production because we cannot change the number of any factor. Thus, market period is not the subject matter of our discussion, because we are interested to know how we can increase production, and that's why we will be interested in short run and long run. And given your limited syllabus, long run production function is not part of your syllabus. That's why we will concentrate all our discussion with short run, and now we will try to understand what is short run. Short run is a time period where we cannot change the number of some factor which will be called as fixed factor, but we can change the number of some other factors which will be called variable factors. Thus, in short run production function, we have got two types of factors. One is fixed factor, the number of which cannot be changed, and another is variable factor, the number of which can be changed. Just with one example I would try to explain. I think your understanding will be clearer. See, suppose we have got a piece of land, and the land is a factor, and what we are doing? We are doing cultivation of wheat. So here, in order to cultivate wheat, just now simplify our model and just think that we need only two factors to produce wheat. One is fixed factor, that is land, and another is variable factor, that is fertilizer. So, less fertilizer we use, the total production will be less, and more fertilizer we use, the total production will be more. Thus, in order to increase the level of production, we cannot increase the size of the land where we are doing the cultivation. That's why land is a fixed factor, and in order to increase production, we can increase the dose of fertilizer that we are using. We can put 10 kilo of fertilizer, we can apply 20 kilo of fertilizer, we can apply 30 kilo of fertilizer. And here in short run production function, we would try to understand what happens to total product when we continuously increase the number of variable factor. So, one fixed factor, one variable factor, how much output they can produce, one fixed factor, two variable factor, combinedly how much output they can produce, one fixed factor, three variable factors, combinedly how much output they can produce. This is the subject matter of our discussion. And why this is called law of variable proportion? Because here the proportion, that is the ratio between fixed and variable factor. In the first case it was one fixed and one variable, that is 1:1. In the second case it was one fixed factor and two variable factors, that is 1:2. So in this way, in order to increase our production level, we are changing the factor proportion. So what happens to total product when we continuously increase the number of variable factor? That we can learn from a universal law called the law of variable proportion. So for today, this much is enough, and tomorrow we will continue with the discussion and we will try different phases of the law of variable proportion with the help of the diagram, and also the region where the production behaves in that way. Thank you and have a nice day.